What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you again today with another video. I made a video earlier about Tua Tagovailoa. I talked about, you know, uh, what is he going to be a bust? Because of injury, or are the Dolphins going to work with him? Well, he was picked fifth overall. Let's look up the board a little bit and let's look at Joe Burrow. Was the success of LSU Joe Burrow, or was it the offensive coordinators? And how will that work with the Bengals? Let's look at it. All right, so we look at LSU last year, 2019, right? 15-0, national champions. I mean, what did they not accomplish last year? I kind of talked about this on the Unprofessional Sports Show last night. Shout out to my man Chess Hall. Go sub him up, man. I've made a couple videos talking about it. We did the first episode last night. We talked a little bit about Joe Burrow and LSU from last season. And, the Bengals. Okay, so Joe Burrow sets passing records, touchdown records. Like, what did he not do at LSU last year, right? He won a Heisman. He won a championship. LSU had receivers winning the Bolitnikoff for best receiver. Had the greatest football team I think I have ever seen, at least in terms of college. So, but you got to think that happened in 1 year. Joe Burrow was. Let's rewind to 2018. Joe Burrow was great. Joe Burrow was good in 2018, right? He put up some good numbers, but 2019 it was like, this is not the Joe Burrow that we're familiar with. This isn't the guy from last year that transferred from Ohio State. So, was it Joe Brady coming in? Was it Ensminger? Or was it all Joe Burrow? Maybe it was both. I think you can make a case for that. I think it was both. I really think Joe Burrow. I mean, you can't look at that kid and say, "Oh, it's all on the coordinators." This dude put the play in play, I guess. Practice the play, put it in practice, whatever. So what are the Bengals going to get out of Joe Burrow? Are they going to get what we saw last year out of Joe Burrow? This year, you could pretty much expect. Now, I know I talked about the Dolphins earlier, sitting Tua because he doesn't need to be starting because of his injuries and everything. You want to let him rest for a while. But I think it's a no-brainer for the Bengals. This is completely different. I haven't seen Joe Burrow get hurt. I'm sure he will one day. I mean, listen, if you're going to play football, you're going to get hurt at some point. Even if it's like one time in your career. Whereas Tua just gets hurt and hurt and hurt. As good of a player as he is, shout out to Tua. He's a great player. His injuries were the reason he wasn't the number one pick like we thought he would be. Whereas Joe Burrow, he didn't get hurt, and he balled out. So, what are the Bengals getting out of Joe Burrow, I think is the real question here. Are they getting the Joe Burrow from last season that lit up college football? Or are they getting the average Joe from 2018? Let's get into it a little. All right. So again, Joe Burrow lit it up last year. Joe Brady, Steve Ensminger, that was a good trio. You had these two co-offensive coordinators, and Ensminger and Joe Brady, who came from the Saints, who's now gone with the Panthers. And you had Joe Burrow, who responded really well to the play calling. Listen, they called the plays. Joe Burrow sat there and took it, and he did something great with it. He had great receivers to back him up, and Justin Jefferson. He had a great running back, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, I could go down the list of that awesome offense from last year. For LSU, which I would say is probably the greatest football team I have ever witnessed, and it's not even close. You can't look at those stats from that whole team last year and say it was decent or I've seen better. I don't see how. But Joe Burrow is the guy that won a Heisman and a championship in 1 year. He broke passing records, touchdown records. His receivers broke receiving records and set new ones. What did LSU not accomplish? And was it all Joe Burrow? See, that's the thing for the Bengals. Are they getting last year's Joe Burrow that lit the world on fire in college football, and we're going to find out that it was all him? Or are they going to get the 2018 Joe Burrow who was just your average Joe? No pun intended. All right, fine. There was a pun in there. But seriously, I think it was Joe Burrow, but I want to get your thoughts on it, so be sure to comment. I mean, listen, Joe Burrow is going to be great in the NFL. Is he going to be as great as he was in college last year? I'm not sure. I think he could be, but you got to think this is the Bengals we're talking about. They gotta get some guys and supply him weapons around him to throw the ball to, get some O-line to protect him. I think they're gonna work on that for years to come in the next couple years and or whatever in the draft and everything. But was it Joe Burrow that helped LSU be what it was, or was it the offensive coordinators and the offensive mindset of Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger? I think it was both. But honestly, man, listen, you can have whoever you want calling plays, dude. You could get who who could I think of? Kirby Smart, really great defensive minded coach. You can get him calling a defense at Clemson, or maybe okay, take Brent Venables from Clemson, right? Really great defensive minded coach. Look at, I mean, he made that defense beat up on Alabama, right? You can take that guy and put him on any team. He will do his part. But if you don't have the right players for the job, right, with the right mindset and the ability to go out and play, it's nothing. It's a two-way street, if you get what I'm saying. It's not just, oh, well, of course we're going to be great. We got this Joe Brady guy, or we got, of course Alabama's offense is going to be great. They got Steve Sarkisian. I mean, it's not just that. It should be, of course it'll be great because they got a quarterback who wants to win, who's willing to respond to the offensive coordinator. And they got an offensive coordinator willing to work with the quarterback. It has to go both ways. So, was it Joe Brady or was it Joe Burrow? I think we're going to find out this year. I think most likely Andy Dalton is just garbage, honestly. And I'll be surprised if this football season in the NFL, Joe Burrow is not starting. I will be shocked, okay? Because listen, here's the thing about him and Tua. Both really great athletes. One of them's injury prone. That's why there's speculation whether or not Tua will start or not, because maybe you want to rest him. Again, what I said in the video earlier. He's injury prone. Call it what it is. I'm not trying to disrespect or rip on Tua. But with his injuries, you kind of look at it and say, do I really want to risk it and start him? Well, Joe Burrow, he didn't get hurt last year, from what I remember. I don't know if I've ever seen him get hurt. And even if he did, if he ever has gotten hurt in college, which I'm not sure. It's like it's not. It was one time. Whereas Tua, he would come up limping off every play. Again, as I mentioned in my video earlier. So Joe Burrow was great last year, but he also had Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger, and that duo of offensive gurus helped him become what he is right now, and they helped him get the potential he has right now. So we're gonna find out, and it might not be this year, but a few years down the road when we're looking at the Bengals and we're sitting there looking at Joe Burrow and we're reviewing his stats and everything, we're gonna be trying to figure out, was it what happened in 2019 with LSU? Was it Joe Burrow? We'll know the answer in a few years. Oh, yeah, that 2019 LSU team, all Joe Burrow. or we'll look at it and say it was the coordinators. Even though Joe Burrow's still great, it's not looking like it was at LSU, but it was definitely the coordinators. So we'll find out. Just so that crossed my mind. I made the Tua video earlier, and I figured maybe why not talk Joe Burrow a little bit, and I talked a little bit about it last night on the Unprofessional Sports Show. I've mentioned that quite a bit. Go sub up Chess Hall. Go check it out if you missed it. I'm sure it's up on his channel already. Uh, it's amazing how long it takes for a live stream to upload after you've done the live stream. But anyway, so go back and watch that. We talked about it just a little bit in the show at one point. I honestly think Joe Burrow has it. I really do, and we're gonna find out this year. I mean, yeah, he's not gonna be perfect. He'll throw some interceptions. He'll make some bad decisions. The question is, how can he respond to adversity? Can he bounce back? And year in and year out, if we look at it 4 years down the road, 5 years, 10 years when he's in the league, if we look back on it from where he is then to where he is now, like put yourself 10 years from now. Let's say it's 10 years from now. We're looking at him now, 10 years from 2020, and we're looking back at 2020 and we're saying, this is not at all what we wanted to get out of him, or this is totally better than what we wanted to get out of him. So was it Joe Brady and Ensminger, or was it Joe Burrow? I think it was all three of them all at once that made it special, and I honestly see a lot of potential in Joe Burrow and what he could do with the Bengals offense. Now again, Bengals are in the dumps. They got a lot of rebuilding to do. It's going to take more than just an elite Heisman winning quarterback, but I think he's got the potential to win some Super Bowls in Cincinnati and definitely go out there and do what he did last year in the NFL. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you think. Definitely comment down below. It's going to be interesting to see. I like Joe Burrow. I like the pick. And we're going to find out pretty soon, whether it be this year or a few years down the road, whether it was the coordinators or if it was the quarterback. Is Joe Burrow going to live up to expectation and hype this year? I think he will. I really do. But we'll definitely find out. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in today. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, Ballard Sports Media checking out. Y'all have a good day.